Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the MVC Baseball First Pitch here on MVCSports.com, presented by Rawlings, as always. And we are now joined again by our MVC Baseball correspondent, Shane Dennis. Shane, how are you doing this week?
Doing good. Looking forward to this weekend.
Absolutely. This weekend we've got some very interesting matchups on the Valley Baseball schedule. A lot of competitive games on tap. And let's take a look at some of those matchups. Starting first, Indiana State and Evansville. Take a look at this series. What do you think could happen when the Sycamores and the Aces get together?
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see how both teams react. Look at Evansville and what happened to them this past weekend. Lost two heartbreakers to Missouri State. They got 5 runs in the first 3 innings off Nick Petrie and ended up losing the opener 9-5. Then they walked it off on Saturday to even the series, only to see Keenan Maddox from Missouri State hit a late home run and kind of cut their hearts out and give Missouri State the series 2 out of 3. Indiana State, on the other hand, how will they react? They didn't play at all this past weekend. They were out of conference and got washed out, so they didn't play at all. Will that refresh them? Will that rejuvenate them? At this point in the season, sometimes days off are better than practice days or playing. Depends on how they react, obviously, and how they come out this weekend against Evansville. The big thing for me is Sean Manaea was scheduled to not pitch this weekend out of conference. Of course, that got rained out, so it was a moot point. Will he be well enough to pitch and to help out the Indiana State pitching staff against Evansville? That remains to be seen because they'll need him. Kyle Lloyd from Evansville is pitching at a high level. Obviously, Freeland and Josh Biggs has stepped into the role pretty well for Evansville. So Indiana State will have its hands full with Evansville this weekend.
All right, let's switch gears over to Creighton and Illinois State. Illinois State's been on a tear of late, obviously playing some really, really good baseball. What do you think? Redbirds pitching, Blue Jay bats, what do you think might happen?
I think that's a tremendous matchup to look at. Illinois State has them at home, so you could give them the nod there. They've been playing at a high level, as you said, Derek. They at this taping, I think they're looking down the barrel at 10 wins in a row. They are 9-3 in the league. Creighton's 8-4. Razzo and Savas, it seems like we keep talking about them every single week, but they keep stepping up in the pitching rotation for Illinois State, really leading them. But the story will be Illinois State's revamped and improved pitching staff against Creighton's revamped and improved offense. Who will come out ahead? I'll give Illinois State the benefit of the doubt simply because they're at home, but they're right there together, 9-3 and 8-4. And looking ahead, Creighton has a tougher road through the Valley on paper than Illinois State does. So it's imperative for Creighton to somehow try to steal 2 out of 3 because looking down the road, Creighton has Wichita State and Missouri State still to play in the league, Illinois State, Evansville, and Southern. So on paper, their road is a little bit easier, but certainly neither team can afford to look past the other this weekend in normal.
All right, and you just mentioned Wichita State, Missouri State. Those two teams go head-to-head this weekend in Springfield at Hammons Field. What do you think? Another pitching matchup here. We got some arms when you need them, and Petrie. Yeah. What do you think? What happens when the Shockers and Bears get together?
Well, on Friday, if that game is played between Wichita State and Missouri State, Elam and Petrie, it'll be whoever blinks first. Those guys are so much alike in that they're competitive. They have a lot of fire. They'll come at you. Now, Elam's coming off a bit of a thumb issue at Southern Illinois. Came out early after 3 innings as kind of a precautionary deal. Wichita State better pray he's 100% for this weekend's matchup with Missouri State. The Bears have somehow covered for Cody Schumacher's injury. It seems like everybody's just next man up, that kind of theory. And then you got a little bit of an issue with Missouri State scoring runs. They lost 2-1 to Evansville, won 2-1 on Sunday against Evansville. They're doing just enough and really leaning on that pitching staff, which, down the stretch can be dangerous if you just depend on your pitchers to come through for you all the time. Now, Wichita State has seen that too, that they've leaned on their pitching staff quite a bit. And looking ahead, Missouri State, after Wichita State, has Creighton. So that'll be one of the heavy hitters still left. And then, of course, Wichita State, after Missouri State, will have Creighton, and then they'll be done too. So none of the 6 teams we just talked about can look past this weekend, but it's interesting to do it anyway because, trying to predict how the conference will shake out. But a great slate of weekend games in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things we can do is look forward to it because when all this conference play does shake out, it leads us to the conference tournament. As we've mentioned a few times here, May 21st, 25th, Bloomington, Norman, Illinois State the host. Very tight standings right now. Anything can happen. Teams very tightly bunched as we lead into the conference tournament. Shane, thanks again for your your guidance here as we talk on the MVC Baseball First Pitch.
We'll see you next week.
Dreams are forged. Will is challenged. Teams are united. Bats are tested. Don't miss the 2013 Missouri Valley Conference Baseball Tournament, May 21st through 25th at Duffy Bass Field in Normal, Illinois. Presented by the Pentagraph and WJDC Radio. For tickets and more information, call 309-438-8000 or visit GoRedbirds.com.